serving the people of this community since 1918. Service is our motto. The poor, the rich, the middle class and all are given the best of care and attention at all times. You have the privilege to select what you want. In your time of need, contact the capable, the competent, and the dependable staff of the Jwwilliams Funeral Home who is genuinely concerned with your care. At Jwwilliams Funeral Home, you are aptly served by the proprietor president, Deacon Arthur L. Parker, who continues the traditions and values set forth by the past president, Dr. Napoleon Williams. Your announcers for the Jwwilliams Funeral Home Sunday morning program are Deacon Arthur L. Parker, Reverend Isaac H. Owens, Mrs. Calandra Wilkerson Parker, Minister Frankie Harmon, Ms. Sandra Johnson, and Deacon Earl Clark, Jr.
Thank you, and good morning, friends. We come to you this morning to bring announcements, dedications, and songs. We certainly hope that your day may be brighter after listening to our program. The following family would like to thank their many friends for the food, the flowers, the condolences, and all other expressions of sympathy and kindness shown to them during their hours of sorrow and bereavement during the past week. Deacon Charles George Cooper, Sr., age 85, of 1423 North Lee Street, Americus, Georgia, died Thursday, June 27th, at his residence in Americus, Georgia. The funeral service for Deacon Charles George Cooper, Sr., age 85, was held Tuesday, July 2nd, in the sanctuary of his beloved New St. Paul Baptist Church in Americus, Georgia. The pastor, Reverend Michael Walker, officiated. The burial followed at the Eastview Cemetery in Americus, Georgia. Survivors include his loving and devoted children, Mr. Charles Cooper, Jr., and his wife, Mrs. Rosa Cooper, Ms. Jackie Hall, Ms. Lisa Thompson, Ms. Sharon Cooper and her husband, Mr. Tyrone Cooper, Mr. Sam Mabel and his wife, Mrs. Shirlene Mabel, Mrs. Mary Waters and her husband, Mr. Mickey Waters, Mr. Eddie Waters, all of Americus, Georgia, his loving and caring grandchildren and great-grandchildren, his beloved and devoted brothers, Deacon Albert Cooper, Sr., and his wife, Mrs. Josephine Cooper of Americus, Georgia, Mr. Alonzo Cooper and his wife, Mrs. Helen Cooper of Decatur, Georgia, and Mr. James Leonard Cooper of Smithfield, Georgia. His beloved sisters, Mrs. Mabel Cooper Williams of Augusta, Georgia, Mrs. Doris Hightower of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Ms. Melissa Pazor, Ms. Evelyn Terry, and Ms. Dean Cooper, all of Americus, Georgia. His beloved daughter-in-law, Ms. Geneva Waters, his brother-in-law, Mr. Johnny Mabel, his sisters-in-law, Mrs. Ola May Lyles, Mrs. Patricia Bell and her husband, Sir David Bell, Mrs. Dorothy Hamilton and her husband, Sir James Hamilton, Mrs. Evelyn Asbury and her husband, Sir Jimmy Asbury, Mr. Joe Lewis Mabel, and Mr. Johnny Mabel and his wife, Mrs. Patricia Mabel, a host of beloved nieces, nephews, cousins, other relatives, and many sorrowing friends to include Mrs. Sandra Hall, Miss Gloria Jackson, and the Reverend Jesse Watts survived Deacon Charles George Cooper, Sr., age 85, of 1423 North Lee Street, Americus, Georgia. Again, the family would like to thank their many friends for all of the many kindnesses shown to them during their hours of sorrow and bereavement during the past week. May God bless each of you, is their prayer. The Jwwilliams funeral directors serving Cordele and Vienna were in charge of this arrangement during the past week. And now, it is certainly with the deepest regret that we make the following announcements. Mr. Marcus Bernard Washington, Sr., age 35, of 315 Porter Street, Vienna, Georgia, died Saturday, June 22nd, of injuries sustained in a motorcycle accident. Survivors include his loving and devoted wife, Mrs. Wendy Thomas Washington, his loving children, Miss Shanita Washington, Miss Marquita Washington, Mr. Marcus Washington Jr., Mr. Ja'Cory Washington, Mr. Demarion Washington, and Miss Nova Washington, all of Fort Valley, Georgia. 7 beloved grandchildren. His beloved grandmother, Mrs. Janet Kate Washington of Unadilla, Georgia. A beloved and devoted sister, Miss Anitra Jackson, and her husband, Mr. Chris Jackson of Atlanta, Georgia. His beloved brothers, Mr. Jackie Washington of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Mr. Vincent J. Washington, and Mr. Telvin Lewis, all of Vienna, Georgia. His beloved aunts and uncles, Miss Marilyn Watkins of Roberta, Georgia, Mrs. Pamela Daniels and her husband, Mr. Bryce Daniels of Pinehurst, Georgia, and Mr. Lynn Washington of Duluth, Georgia. A host of beloved nieces, nephews, cousins, other relatives, and many sorrowing friends survive. Mr. Marcus Bernard Washington, Sr., age 35, of 315 Porter Street, Vienna, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Marcus Bernard Washington, Sr., age 35, will be held Monday, July 8th at 11 a.m. in the chapel of the Jwwilliams Funeral Home in Cordele, Georgia. His pastor, Dr. K.M. Williams, pastor of the Greater Morris Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church, will officiate. The burial will follow at the Shiloh Baptist Church Cemetery in Henderson, Georgia. The public visitation will be today from 1 until 5 p.m. at the Jwwilliams Funeral Home. Mrs. Daphne Elaine Martin White, age 62, of 115 Fingate Place, Warner Robins, Georgia, died Tuesday, July 2nd at the Hospital Medical Care in Warner Robins, Georgia. Survivors include her loving and devoted husband, Mr. Al White, of Warner Robins, Georgia, her loving and devoted children, Mr. Donovan White and Miss Ashley White, both of Warner Robins, Georgia. Her beloved father, Mr. James L. Martin of Perry, Georgia. 4 loving siblings, Miss Erica Martin Kears and her husband, Mr. Wilson Kears, and Miss Angela Martin, both of St. Albany, New York. Mr. James Martin, Mr. James Martin Jr. and his wife, Mrs. Michelle Martin of Greenwich, Connecticut, and Dr. Vicki Myers and her husband, Mr. Dave Myers of Monroe, Connecticut. Her brother-in-law, Mr. James White, and his wife, Mrs. Francisca White of beloved aunts, Mrs. Neva Scarlett of New York, Mrs. Juanita Ingram of Far Rockaway, New York, Mrs. Desi Floyd of Americus, Georgia, and Miss Wilhelmina Martin of Pittsburgh, Virginia. A host of beloved nieces, nephews, cousins, other relatives, and many, many sorrowing friends survive. Mrs. Daphne Elaine Martin White, age 62, 515 Pine Garden Place, Warner Robins, Georgia. The funeral service for Mrs. Daphne Elaine Martin White, age 62, will be held Tuesday, July 9th at 11 a.m. in the sanctuary of the Word in Season Ministries in Warner Robins, Georgia. Minister Victoria DeShaza will officiate. The eulogy will be delivered by Pastor Vanessa Moss. The burial will follow at Staley Memorial Gardens in Americus, Georgia. The public visitation will be Monday, July 8th from 1 until 5 p.m. at the Jwwilliams Funeral Home. Mr. Freeman Clayton Jr., age 76, of 810 Lincoln Street, Vienna, Georgia, died Wednesday, July 3rd at the Phoebe Putnam Memorial Hospital in Albany, Georgia. Survivors include his loving and devoted children, Mr. Freeman Hardrick, Ms. Latricia Hardrick, and Mr. Mario Hardrick, all of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Mr. Cortez Caldwell of St. Petersburg, Florida, Mr. Gentry Jackson, Ms. Demetri Burton of Vienna, Georgia, Ms. Tina Glenn of Pinehurst, Georgia, Ms. Shakayla Wooten, and Mr. Malcolm Freeman, both of Warner Robins, Georgia. 21 beloved grandchildren, 4 great-grandchildren, 3 beloved and devoted sisters, Miss Willie Bell Coleman of Lilly, Georgia, Miss Anita Clayton of Newland, Georgia, and Miss Inez Glenn of Vienna, Georgia. His beloved and devoted brothers, Deacon Lonnie Clayton and Mr. Leon Clayton, and his wife, Mrs. Early Mae Clayton, both of Byronville, Georgia. Mr. Abraham Clayton and Mr. John Clayton, both of Lilly, Georgia. His beloved aunts, Mrs. Georgia Eva Spivey and Miss Frankie Parker, both of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. A host of beloved nieces, nephews, cousins, other relatives, and many, many sorrowing friends survive. Mr. Freeman Clayton Jr., age 76, of 810 Lincoln Street, Vienna, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Freeman Clayton Jr., age 76, will be held Saturday, July 13th, in the sanctuary of the Forest Chapel Baptist Church in Pinehurst, Georgia. The pastor, Reverend Willie Green, will officiate. The burial will follow in the churchyard cemetery. The public visitation will be Friday, July 12th, from 1 until 5 p.m. at the Jwwilliams Funeral Home. Miss Arlene Susan Dixon, age 52, of 46 Hills Street, Rochelle, Georgia, died Tuesday, July 2nd, at the Phoebe Putnam Memorial Hospital in Albany, Georgia. Survivors include her loving and devoted children, Mr. Jwwilliams Dixon and his wife, Mrs. Sarah Dixon, and Mr. Zamaria Dixon, both of Rochelle, Georgia. Miss Nikita Williams and her husband, Mr. Lenny Williams of Abbeville, Georgia. Her beloved grandchildren, her loving and devoted sister, Miss Diana Johnson, and her husband, Mr. Willie Johnson of Eastman, Georgia. Her beloved brothers, Mr. Robert Dixon and Mr. Johnny Dixon, and his wife, Mrs. Danita Dixon, both of Rochelle, Georgia. Her beloved aunts and uncles, Mrs. Marcella Mathis and Mr. John David Dixon, both of Atlanta, Georgia. Miss Anita Dixon, Miss Jeanette Benjamin, Miss Mary Hartgrove, Miss Martha Denmark, and Mr. Eugene Dixon, all of Rochelle, Georgia. Mr. Willie Dixon of Eastman, Georgia. A host of beloved nieces, nephews, cousins, other relatives, and many, many sorrowing friends survive. Miss Arlene Susan Dixon, age 52, of 46 Hill Street, Rochelle, Georgia. The funeral service for Miss Arlene Susan Dixon will be held Monday, July 15 at 11 a.m. in the sanctuary of the PFGC Church in Rochelle, Georgia, with the pastor, Elder J.W. Bentley, officiating. The burial will follow at the Evergreen Cemetery in Rochelle, Georgia. The public visitation will be Sunday, July 14, from 1 until 5 p.m. at the Jwwilliams Funeral Home. Mr. Johnny Bernard Palmer, age 60, of 109 North Bass Street, Cordele, Georgia, died Saturday, June 29th at the Chris Regional Hospital in Cordele, Georgia. Survivors include his loving and devoted father, Deacon James Palmer, and his wife, Mrs. Ozzy Palmer of Cordele, Georgia. His loving and devoted sibling, Mr. Edward James Palmer, and his wife, Mrs. Mary Palmer of Vienna, Georgia. Mr. Willie James Palmer and his fiancee, Miss Kathy, Mrs. Mary Elizabeth Coleman, and her husband, Mr. Raymond Coleman, and Miss Brenda Palmer, all of Cordele, Georgia. A host of beloved nieces, nephews, cousins, aunts, uncles, other relatives, and many, many sorrowing friends survive. Mr. Johnny Bernard Palmer, age 60, 109 North Bass Street, Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Johnny Bernard Palmer, age 60, will be announced at a later date, pending the completion of the arrangements. United States Army veteran, Mr. Joseph Smith Sr., age 79, of 309 North 4th Street, Vienna, Georgia, died Tuesday, July 2nd, at his residence in Vienna, Georgia. Survivors include his loving and devoted children, Miss Cassandra Lawson of Unadilla, Georgia, Mr. Samuel Morrell and his wife, Mrs. Linda Morrell of Jacksonville, Florida, Miss Samantha Tate and her husband, Mr. Eldridge Tate of Toledo, Ohio, Miss Arzita Bessette and Miss Crystal Smith, both of Atlanta, Georgia, Mr. Joseph Smith Jr. of Vienna, Georgia, 10 beloved grandchildren, 4 great-grandchildren, his beloved and devoted sister, Mrs. Barbara Bembry, and her husband, Sir John Henry Bembry of Columbus, Georgia. A beloved brother, Mr. Bobby Joe Smith of Jacksonville, Florida. A host of nieces, nephews, cousins, other relatives, and many, many sorrowing friends survived. United States Army veteran, Mr. Joseph Smith Sr., age 79, of 305 North 4th Street, Vienna, Georgia. The funeral service for United States Army veteran Mr. Joseph Smith Sr., age 79, will be announced at a later date pending the completion of the arrangements. Mr. Jacamarian Jakari Street, age 21, of 315 West 27th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia, died Saturday, July 6th at the Atrium Health Navison in Macon, Georgia. Survivors include his loving and devoted mother, Miss Shanteria Bridges of Cordele, Georgia, his loving and devoted father, Mr. Jeffrey Lee Street Jr. of Cordele, Georgia, his beloved brothers and sisters, Mr. Zymarian Bridges, Mr. Cairo Bridges, Ms. Vizcaya Johnson, Mr. Chance Johnson, and Ms. Jalisa Allen. His loving and devoted grandparents, Ms. Cassandra Mathis of Cordele, Georgia, Mr. Shantania Bridges and his wife, Mrs. Diana Bridges of Columbus, Georgia, Ms. Deborah Perry Sampson, and the Reverend Eddie Tarbert and his wife, Mrs. Tanika Tarbert of Cordele, Georgia. His loving great-grandmothers, Mother Lily Mathis and Miss Annie Pearl Perry, both of Cordele, Georgia. A host of aunts, uncles, many cousins, other relatives, and many sorrowing friends survive Mr. Jacamarian Jakari Street, age 21, of 315 West 27th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Jacamarian Jakari Street, age 21, will be announced at a later date pending the completion of the arrangements. The Jwwilliams funeral directors serving Cordele and Vienna are in charge of each of these arrangements during this week. For this morning, as always, we do remind you concerning our pre-funeral arrangements planning available at the Jwwilliams Funeral Home, with packages available with a single pay, a 3-year pay, a 5-year pay, and a 10-year pay. So please stop by and talk with us concerning your pre-funeral arrangements needs available at the Jwwilliams Funeral Home. And also, whole life insurance is available at the Jwwilliams Funeral Home.
And now for announcements. The Mount Moriah Baptist Church of Unadilla Homecoming Revival Services will begin today, Sunday, July 7th through Thursday, July 11th. Homecoming service will be today, with Sunday school beginning at 10 o'clock a.m., morning worship at 11 o'clock a.m. At 1:30 p.m., the Green Grove Baptist Church of Reverend Darrell McIntosh will be the guest minister. Revival services will continue on Monday, July 9th through Thursday, July 11th. Our program will be Monday, Linwood Baptist Church of Hawkinsville and Dr. Willie Pierman. Tuesday, New Bethel Baptist Church of Unadilla and Reverend Carlos Dixon. Wednesday, Calvary Hill Baptist Church of Jeffersonville and Reverend Randy Pascal. Thursday, First Fellowship Full Gospel Baptist Church of Fitzgerald and Dr. Horace Wright. Everyone has a cordial invitation to attend. Reverend Eddie Lester, pastor. The Turkey Creek Baptist Church homecoming service will be on Sunday, July 14th, beginning at 11 o'clock a.m. The revival service will continue on Monday, July 15th through Friday, July 19th at 7:30 p.m. On program will be Monday and Tuesday, Reverend Darrell McIntosh. Wednesday through Friday, Reverend Kawana Walker. Sister Teresa Young, church reporter. Deacon Joseph Davis, chairman of deacons. Reverend Jerome Smith is the pastor. The New Poplar Spring Baptist Church Youth Day celebration will be Sunday, July 14th at 9:45 a.m. Dr. Scott R. Ross of Atlanta will be the guest speaker. Everyone is cordially invited to attend. Pastor Johnny Dean, pastor. The Camp Creek Baptist Church of Unadilla 155th church anniversary and homecoming will be Sunday, July 14th at 11 o'clock a.m. Minister Felicia Hunlin, interim pastor, will deliver the message. Dinner will be served. Everyone is cordially invited to attend. The Shady Grove CMB Church of the Drayton Community annual homecoming will be Sunday, July 21st, with Sunday school beginning at 10 o'clock a.m., worship service at 11 o'clock a.m. The pastor, Reverend Andrew Thomas, will deliver the message. Brother Peyton Beal Jr., chairman of stewards, Reverend Andrew Thomas is the pastor. The Guildfield Primitive Baptist Church Union meeting will be held today, Sunday, July 7th at 11 a.m. Everyone is invited to attend. Union Elder Jonathan Milder, Elder Greg Peterson is the pastor. The Jerusalem Baptist Church of Ellerville Home Mission Anniversary will be Sunday, July 14th at 1:30 p.m. Brother Michael Edge, pastor of William Grove Baptist Church, will be the guest speaker. Everyone is invited to attend. Dr. Deanne Holsley is the pastor. The New Corinth Baptist Church of Leslie annual revival will begin on Tuesday, July 16th through Thursday, July 18th at 7 o'clock p.m. Reverend Tony Smith of Jerusalem Baptist Church will be the guest speaker. Everyone is invited to attend. The Jenkins Jwwilliams 64th anniversary will be Sunday, July 21st at 5 o'clock p.m. at Whole Truth International Ministries Incorporated in Americus, Georgia. On program will be Next Level, The Gospel 2+1, The Gospel Keys, Pastor Michael Acree and the Miracle Workers of Georgia, Happy Land, and many other groups. Everyone is invited to attend. Weatherization Assistant Program for Community Meeting will be on Wednesday, July 10th at 10 o'clock a.m. at the City of America City Hall on the 3rd floor training room. For more information, please contact West Central Georgia at 478-472-3106. 478-472-3106. For more information, please contact West Central Georgia Community Action Council. The McAfee Grove Baptist Church of Leesburg invites everyone to worship with them family nights on Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m., small class study, Thursday at 7 p.m., Sunday morning worship at 9 o'clock a.m. You may join them by calling 425-436-6341. The access code is 708058. Minister Tawanda Daniels, secretary. Dr. Robert L. Morgan Sr. is the pastor. The Bethel Christian Methodist Episcopal Church of Cordele first pastor's anniversary for Pastor Veronica R. Smith and her husband, Brother Dules Smith, will be held today, Sunday, July 7th at 2 o'clock p.m. Reverend Isaac Owens, pastor of Mount Calvary Baptist Church, will be the guest speaker. Everyone is invited to attend. Pastor Veronica R. Smith is the pastor. The Mount Olive Baptist Church of Ward Men and Women's Day will be today, Sunday, July 7th at 10 a.m. Everyone is invited to attend. Mother Willie Mae Walker, Church Mother, Deacon Jimmy L. Fagan, Chairman of Deacons, Bishop Jerome Milton is the pastor. The Little Rock Baptist Church revival will begin on Tuesday, July 9th through Thursday, July 11th at 7 o'clock p.m. Homecoming will be on Sunday, July 14th at 10 a.m. Mother Adeline Lofton Church Mother, Deacon Nathaniel Nance, Chairman of Deacons, Reverend Joseph Green is the pastor. The Zion Hope Baptist Church, Winona Community, annual revival will be on Wednesday, July 10th and Thursday, July 11th at 7 o'clock p.m. On program will be Wednesday, Spring Hill Baptist Church and Pastor Shannon Solette. Thursday, Beautiful Zion Baptist Church and Pastor Lorinda Ray. The revival will climax on Sunday, July 14th at 2 o'clock p.m. The Emmanuel Baptist Church and Choir will be in charge of the service. Sister Barbara Smith, Secretary. Deacon Xavier Bryan is the Chairman of Deacons. Reverend Willie James Felton is the pastor. The St. James Baptist Church of Cordele annual revival will be Wednesday, July 17th and Thursday, July 18th at 7 o'clock p.m. Reverend Gregory Williams, pastor of Emmanuel Baptist Church, will be the revivalist. The revival will climax on Sunday, July 21st at 11 o'clock a.m. Reverend Nelson Maynard is the pastor. The Piney Grove Baptist Church annual revival will be Tuesday, July 16th through Thursday, July 18th at 7 o'clock p.m. Reverend Choice Cobb will be the revivalist. On program will be Tuesday, St. Paul Baptist Church, Beulah Land Baptist Church, and Spring Hill Baptist Church. Wednesday, Old Shady Grove Baptist Church, Crossroad Baptist Church, and Choir. Thursday, Shady Grove CME Church, Macedonia Baptist Church, Mount Zion First African Baptist Church, Spring Hill Baptist Church of Tidbittville, and Free Providence Baptist Church and Choir. Sunday, July 21st at 10:30 a.m., the pastor, Reverend Jesse Watts, will deliver the message. At 1:30 p.m. will be the annual mission program. The Mount Bethel and Zion Hope Baptist Church of Reverend Willie James Felton will be the guests. Sister Dorothy Bryan, Secretary. Deacon Nathaniel Roddy is the Chairman of Deacons. Reverend Jesse Watts is the pastor. The Greater Mars Tabernacle Baptist Church one-night youth revival will be Thursday, July 18th at 7 o'clock p.m. Reverend Dawan J. Griggs will be the guest revivalist. Youth revival will climax on Sunday, July 21st at 9:30 a.m. 2024 Christ County High School graduate, Mr. Jwwilliams Jackson, will be the speaker. Everyone is invited to attend. Deacon Arthur L. Parker, Chairman of Deacons. Dr. K.M. Williams is the pastor. The Mount Moriah Baptist Church revival will be Monday, July 22nd and Tuesday, July 23rd at 7 o'clock p.m. On program will be Monday, Reverend Samuel Stokes. Tuesday, Reverend Tiller Sims. The revival will climax on Sunday, July 28th with Sunday school at 9 a.m., worship service at 10 o'clock a.m. Everyone is cordially invited to attend. Mother Hazel Wright, Church Mother. Deacon Sammy McGill, Chairman of Deacons. Reverend Ivy Corbin is the pastor. The Shady Grove Baptist Church annual revival will be Tuesday, July 23rd through Thursday, July 25th at 7 o'clock p.m. Reverend B.L. Richardson of the Christ Harvest Baptist Church will be the revivalist. The revival will climax on Sunday, July 28th at 11 o'clock a.m. Deacon Sammy Mumphrey, Chairman of Deacons. Reverend Kelvin E. Drake Sr. is the pastor. The Zion Grove Baptist Church of Oakfield annual revival services will begin on Wednesday, July 24th through Friday, July 26th at 7 o'clock p.m. Mother Aura Morris, Church Mother. Deacon Paul Alford is the Chairman of Deacons. Reverend Tiller Sims is the pastor. Everyone has a cordial invitation to worship at the Gethsemane Baptist Church today. Worship service begins at 10:30 a.m. Deacon Johnny Wilson, Chairman of Deacons. Reverend Cecil Straughter is the pastor. You're cordially invited to worship at the Greater Mars Tabernacle Baptist Church today. Sunday school at 9 a.m., worship service at 9:30 a.m. Mother Mary Henderson, Church Mother. Deacon Arthur L. Parker, Chairman of Deacons. Dr. K.M. Williams is the pastor. The New Oak Grove Baptist Church invites everyone to worship with them each Sunday for Sunday school at 9:15 a.m., worship service at 10 o'clock a.m. Face covering is required. Deacon Alonzo Jones, Chairman of Deacons. Reverend W.W. Wilson is the pastor. The St. Paul Presbyterian Church invites everyone to worship with them each first and third Sunday at 11 o'clock a.m. If you have any questions, please contact Pastor Ovita Hageman at 229-406-1333 or the Clerk of Sessions, Elder Ola Outlaw at 229-322-9775. Pastor Ovita Hageman is the pastor. You're cordially invited to worship with the beautiful Zion Baptist Church today. Worship service begins at 11 o'clock a.m. Mother Donna Mae Childs, Church Mother, Reverend Lorinda Ray is the pastor. Everyone has a cordial invitation to worship at the Mount Calvary Baptist Church today. Sunday school begins at 9:30 a.m. Worship service at 10:45 a.m. Deacon Leon Spears, Chairman of Deacons, Mother Evelyn Lewis, Church Mother, Reverend Isaac H. Owens is the pastor. That concludes our announcements for this Sunday morning.
Following in loving memory of Mr. Lester C. Williams, who departed this life July 5th, 2019. Dedication requested by his beloved wife, Mrs. Wilhelmina Williams, and the entire Williams and Rogers family. Gone but not forgotten. In loving memory of Mrs. Beulah Patterson, who departed this life July 6th, 1993. Dedication requested by the Patterson family and the Mount Zion First African Baptist Church. Gone but not forgotten. In loving memory of Mrs. Marie Hamilton, who would have celebrated her birthday July 7th and departed this life July 7th, 2003. Dedication requested by the Hamilton family. Gone but not forgotten. In loving memory of Mother Willie Mae Gaines, who departed this life July 7th, 2007. Dedication requested by the Gaines family. Gone but not forgotten. In loving memory of Miss Lena Murray, who departed this life July 9th, 1977. Dedication requested by the Cobb, Hardeman, and Preston family. Precious memory lingers still. In loving memory of Mrs. Demita Davis, who departed this life July 10th, 2007. Dedication requested by Mrs. Mary Frances Davis. Gone but not forgotten. In loving memory of Mrs. Eddie Lou Gray, who departed this life July 11th, 2012. Dedication requested by the family. Gone but not forgotten. Our first selection this morning is dedicated to the following. Tonight, a very special birthday wish. Happy birthday to Miss Valerie Levant, Miss Val, who celebrated her birthday Tuesday, July 2nd. Dedication requested by her family and her mother, Mrs. Dorothy Rose Jones, and the staff of the Jwwilliams Funeral Home. Happy birthday, Miss Val, and many, many more. Happy birthday to Miss Nicole Baldwin, who celebrated her birthday Wednesday, July 3rd. Dedication requested by her beloved aunt, Miss Bernice Lester, the Baldwin and Shine family. Happy birthday to little Tristan Jones, who celebrated his birthday Friday, July 5th. Dedication requested by the family and his beloved grandmother, Miss Dorothy Rose Jones. Happy birthday to Deacon Andrew Smith, who celebrated his birthday Saturday, July 6th. Dedication requested by his beloved grandmother, Miss Bernice Lester, and the Smith family. Happy birthday to Miss Wilhelmina Williams, better known as Miss Kitty, who celebrated her birthday Saturday, July 6th. Dedication requested by her beloved brother-in-law, Deacon Donald K. Hamilton, and the entire family. And special wishes come from the Reverend Isaac H. Owens to Mrs. Wilhelmina Williams, who celebrated her birthday Saturday, July 6th. Happy birthday to Miss Ann Brooks, who is celebrating her birthday today, July 7th. Dedication requested by the family. Happy birthday to Mr. Wynn Jones, who is celebrating his birthday today, July 7th. Dedication requested by the family. Happy birthday to Mr. Lenore Jones, who is celebrating his birthday today, July 7th. Dedication requested by his family. And happy birthday to Miss Patrice Criddle, who will celebrate her birthday Tuesday, July 9th. Dedication requested by the family. Our first selection this morning is dedicated to the following: to happy birthday to Miss Sharita Jackson Cooper from the Cordell and Savannah family, who's celebrated her birthday Saturday, July 6th. Happy birthday to Mrs. Sharita Jackson Cooper from her beloved family, her husband, her children, her sister, her beloved mother, Deaconess President Cassandra Jackson, and the entire family says, happy birthday to Miss Sharita Jackson Cooper. Our first selection this morning is dedicated to the following: Deacon James Smith and family, Deacon George Jordan and family, past Commissioner A.J. and Mother Vera Rivers and family, Miss Willie Mae Craft and family, the Honorable Juanita Kinchen, Mayor of the City of Warwick, Georgia, Miss Diane Flood and family, Deacon and Mrs. Lauren Wellens and family, Deaconess Martha Cross and family, Mrs. Elizabeth Waters and family, Mrs. Mother Mamie Robinson and family, Deacon Jake and Mrs. Mary Reese and family, Mrs. Perlene Smith Anderson and family of Dawson, Georgia, Mr. Freddie and Mrs. Bernice Pittman and family, Mr. Emma Brown and family, the Reverend and Mrs. Dion Jones and family, Deacon and Mrs. Jimmy Fagan and family, City Commissioner Ms. Vesta Bill Shepherd, and the entire Bill family, Chris County Coroner, Mr. Ricky Dawson and family, Mrs. Geraldine Harvey and family, Deacon and Mrs. Paul Alford and family, Mr. and Mrs. Leslie Merriweather and family, the Reverend Johnny and Dr. Deanne Hosley and family, Deacon James and Dr. Elizabeth Maddox and family, Mother Marie Wright and family, the children of the late Deacon O.C. and Mother Leela Smith, Mr. and Mrs. Willie B. Barnes and family, Vienna, Georgia, Deacon and Mrs. Nathaniel Roddy and family, Mother Willie Mae Leary and family of Hatley, Georgia, and the entire Carter family of Hatley, Georgia, the Reverend and Mrs. Ivory Corbin and family, Mother Vanessa Colson and family, Mr. Charlie and Mrs. Watine Jackson and family, Mr. Ernie and Mrs. Lisa Bryan and family, Miss Lavina James and family, the family of the late Deacon Betty Crane, Miss Lily Crane and family, Miss Shanta K. Bowens and family, Mrs. Patsy Card and family, Miss Mary Taylor and family, Deacon and Mrs. Zachary Fields and family, Deacon Tommy and Mrs. Gradine Ford and family, Miss Lucille Harris and family, Mrs. Mary Francis Davis and family, Mr. Joseph Glenn and family, Miss Mary Taylor and family, Mother Willie McGill and family, Mr. and Mrs. Judge Glenn and family, Miss Nellie Whitis and family, Miss Pearl Patrick and family, Mrs. Gail Chanel Williams and family, Miss Dorothy Rose Jones and family, Miss Frederick Hardeman and family, Miss Lonnie Walker and family, Miss Annette Stembridge and family, Miss Eddie Mae Cooks and family, Mother Jessie Kate Harmon and family, Mr. Donald and Mrs. Ruby Daniels and family, Minister Gardner and Miss Beulah Morgan and family, Mother Willie Pearl Reed and family, Mrs. Fanny Bibbins and family, Poland, Georgia, Mrs. Deaconess Connie James and family, Miss Mary Applin and family, Miss Geraldine Ford and family, Deacon Earl Leary and family, Miss Patricia Leary and family, Mr. Eddie Leary and family, Miss Mitt Redding and family, Mr. William Card and family, Mrs. Minnie Redding and family, Mrs. Geneva Magruder Curry and family, Mother Martha Westbrook and family of Arabic, Georgia, the family of the late Miss Lucille Westbrook, Mr. and Mrs. Lonnie Walker and family, Miss Ann Ross and family, Miss Salita Brown and family, Miss Bernell Welburn and family, Miss Willie Mae Cobb and family, Mr. and Mrs. Lynn Thomas and family, Miss Carrie O. Smith and family, Mr. Mrs. Eddie Mathis and family, Ms. Leslie Williams and family, Mr. and Mrs. Lonnie Anderson and family, Miss Corrine West and family, Mr. and Mrs. Sammy Lewis and family, Mrs. Margaret Whitehead and family, Mr. and Mrs. Ernie Cheney and family, Mrs. Willie Jones and family, Mr. and Mrs. James Bryant Jr. and family, Mr. James Bryant Sr. and family, Miss Leela Matt Lewis and family, Mr. Homer Swain and family, Mr. Kenneth Lester and family, Mr. and Mrs. Harry Henderson and family, Miss Gloria Lester and family, Mr. Willie James Perry and family, Deacon Johnny and Mrs. Vera Perry and family, Mother Mary Benjamin and family, Mrs. Bernice Walker and family, Mother Carlton Wallace and family, Mr. and Mrs. John Taylor and family, Miss Gracie Walker and family, Mrs. Sheila Pearl Williams and family, the Reverend Revis McLaren and family, Deacon and Mrs. Oscar James and family, Mr. and Mrs. Wilbert Whitehead and families, Larry Collier and family, Mr. Charles Collier and family, Mr. and Mrs. Carl Henry and family, Mr. George Marchman and family, the family of Mr. Fred Hatter, Mr. Doobie Peacock and family, Miss Charlie Mae Peacock and family, Mr. and Mrs. Henry Peacock Sr., Mr. and Mrs. Henry Peacock Jr. and family, Vienna, Georgia, Mrs. Annie Lewis and family, the family of the late Mother Pearlie May Perry of Vienna, Georgia, Mrs. The Harry L. family, the J.B. Kendrick family, Mrs. Connie Bell Smith and family, Deacon and Mrs. David Leary and family, Deacon and Mrs. Walter Leary and family, Mr. and Mrs. Bobby Brown and family, Miss Pauline Bryant and family, Miss Carrie McGee and family, the family of the late Reverend Walter Carter of Vienna, Georgia, Mrs. Evelyn Green and family, Mrs. Shirley Killings and family, Dr. George Cleveland and family, Mr. Willie Cooper and family, Mr. and Mrs. Tony Thomas and family, the Mrs. Abby Bevins and family, the Martin family, Mr. and Mrs. Willie Jordan and family, Marydale London family, Mrs. Virginia Hill Mumphrey and family, Mrs. Georgia Bryant and family, the family of the late Pastor Kathy Griffin of the Trials of Faith Church of Vienna, Georgia, Miss Bessie Byram and family, Miss Paula Hayes and family, Miss Anna Armstrong and family, Mrs. Pearlie Wallace and family, Mr. and Mrs. Willie Green and family, Rosa Crane and family, Mr. Willie Green and family, Mr. James Lester and family, the Everson family. Our first selection this morning goes out to my neighbor, Mother Theron Jones and family, and the entire Jones and Talbert family, Deacon and Mrs. John Stubbs and family, Deacon and Mrs. Donald Talbert and family, Apostle and Mrs. Morris Jones and family, the Reverend and Mrs. Eddie Talbert and family, Mrs. Juanita Mathis Talbert and family. Our first selection for this morning. It is certainly with the deepest regret that we make the following announcement. Mr. Marcus Bernard Washington Sr., age 35, of 315 Porter Street, Vienna, Georgia, died Saturday, June 22nd, of injury sustained in a motorcycle accident. The funeral service for Mr. Marcus Bernard Washington will be held Monday, July 8th at 11 a.m. in the chapel of the Jwwilliams Funeral Home in Port Hill, Georgia. His pastor, Dr. K.M. Williams, pastor of the Greater Morris Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church, will officiate. The burial will follow at the Shiloh Baptist Church Cemetery in Henderson, Georgia. The public visitation will be today from 1 until 5 p.m. at the Jwwilliams Funeral Home. Mrs. Daphne Elaine Martin White, age 62, of 115 Fine Gate Place, Warner Robins, Georgia, died Tuesday, July 2nd at the Houston Medical Center in Warner Robins, Georgia. The funeral service for Mrs. Daphne Elaine Martin White will be held Tuesday, July 9th at 11 a.m. in the sanctuary of the Word in Season Ministries in Warner Robins, Georgia. Minister Victoria DeShazer will officiate. The eulogy will be delivered by Pastor Bella Malls. The burial will follow at Staley Memorial Garden in Americus, Georgia. The public visitation will be Monday, July 8th from 1 until 5 p.m. at the Jwwilliams Funeral Home. Mr. Freeman Clayton Jr., age 76, of 810 Lincoln Street, Vienna, Georgia, died Wednesday, July 3rd at the Phoebe Putnam Memorial Hospital in Albany, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Freeman Clayton Jr., age 76, will